Hello and welcome to Yoga with Glenn. I'm Glenn. Today we'll be moving and preparing our bodies for a peak posture of wheel pose. Wheel pose is a little bit of an intermediate to advanced posture. If you're not comfortable doing so or you don't think you can, when the time comes I'll offer some regressions. I hope you enjoy this flow. Please hop into something comfortable, hop on your mat, and let's get started. Let's begin our session today here in Sukhasana, or easy cross-legged seated position. Nice tall spine, open heart space, hands resting on the knees, level chin. And we'll begin by getting connected with our breath. Exhale, let everything go. And then inhale from the belly button, through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, the belly, the ribs, feel them expand, and then exhale, ribs in, belly button in. Again, through the nose, belly, ribs, feel the chest lift, and then exhale through the mouth, let everything go. Inhale just through the nose, belly, ribs, chest, and then exhaling through the nose, chest, ribs, belly. It's important to be connected through our breath, especially through a more vigorous yoga flow like this one today. So if you're ready, we'll begin with some neck rolls, just nice and gentle. Inhale and exhale. Drop one ear to one shoulder, exhaling down, and as you come back to the other side, inhale on the way up. And exhale, left chin to left shoulder, chin to chest. As you inhale, right ear, right shoulder. And exhale, reverse the circle. Right ear, right shoulder, chin to chest. Left ear, left shoulder with an inhale. And then reverse the circle again. Left ear, left shoulder, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder, chin towards the sky. Pause here. And then exhale, chin to chest, nice and slow. Inhale, chin all the way up to the sky, just moving the neck, trying not to move the body. And then exhale, return to center. Bring the hands overhead, bring the fingertips to the shoulders, and begin just little tiny circles with the elbows. Just imagine we're drawing circles on the sides of our body, nice and small at first. Try to keep the fingers connected to the shoulders. Eventually they'll grow bigger and bigger circles, where eventually you're drawing the biggest circle you can, breathing while you do so. Really warming up the shoulders here, and then come to a pause, and then reverse the circle. Breathing while you do so. Big circles in reverse, and then eventually make them smaller and smaller and smaller. Eventually you come to stillness back in the middle. Hands come up, and then bring the hands down to heart center. Interlace the fingers. Bring the arms up, connect at the elbow, and then begin to roll the wrists. Keeping the forearms together. Preparing our wrists, preparing our shoulders. Pause and then reverse the circle. We'll need our strength in our wrists. We'll need strength in our shoulders, flexibility in our shoulders for wheel pose. Come to stillness. Hands back at heart center and back to this Anjali Mudra, these prayer hands. And then inhale, bring the hands to the back of the neck. Try to have the elbows kind of close. Try not to push the head forward while you do this, but nice and open in the chest. Bring the elbows up as high as you can, and then inhale, slight back bend, and then exhale, round the back, sort of like you would for a cat pose. Try to keep the hands connected on the back of the neck. Try to keep the elbows up if you can. And then inhale, sort of like a cow, a back bend. And then exhale, forward. Inhale for that cow. And exhale, sort of like that cat. Inhale for cow one last time. And then exhale, bend. Come back to the center, release the hands, and come back down. Collect the knees together, and then come off. If you're sitting on a prop, come off it. Facing the correct way on your mat here, and come to a neutral table posture. And from here, we'll go into a regular cat and cow. So inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the chin and the chest, and then just the opposite. Round the back, tuck the tailbone, send the spine up towards the sky, chin falling towards the chest. Inhale, cow, tailbone up, dropping the belly, lift the chin, lift the chest. So you can bend at the elbows to turn up the treatment just a little bit. And then exhale, cat. If you like to turn this up, try to come up onto your fingers, sort of this spider finger, almost like you'd have a cupcake under your hand. And then walk your fingers back towards your knees, really pressing through the earth, trying to get the spine up towards the sky. And then relax with an inhale, another cow. Any modification you see fit. And then exhale, cat. One more round. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, back to a neutral table posture. And then walk the hands over to the left side for this sort of lateral bend. Feel length in the right side body here. Keeping the knees pointed forward. Inhale back to center. And then exhale as you keep walking your hands over to the opposite side. Feeling length in the left side body this time. And inhale back to center. Same thing. Walk the hands over. Feeling length. Warming up the spine here. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the right side one final time. And inhale back to center. I don't have an official Sanskrit name for this, but my yoga teacher called this Brussels sprouts. We're going to flip our hands over, fingers pointed towards our knees. Really warming up the hands, warming up the wrists here. He called it Brussels sprouts because you might not like them, but they're really good for you. Sort of like this posture. And you can rock side to side very, very gently here. Lean back if you like. Do circles. And then very gently, very easily, return the palms to the mat. And then shift forward. Feel the difference here. Shift back. Shifting forward again. Feel what the wrists do for you. And then we'll flip our hands again, fingers facing one another this time, thumbs pointed towards the front and top of your mat. Same thing, rock side to side, nice and gentle here. Put as much weight or as little weight as you like on your hands. And then flip. Return, relax as we set up for our next posture. Scoot back on your mat a little bit. We're going to go for a downward facing puppy, heart to earth pose. Extend the arms forward, head to the mat, elbows on the mat. And we'll get a little bit more work for our shoulders here as we bring the prayer hands to the back of the neck, thumbs touching the neck. Really finding length through the arms here. Trying to get our hands above our head, our arms above our head. Breathe in this posture here. It's better if the closer you have your elbows to each other, the better you'll end up performing your wheel pose. Return the hands to the mats. Press yourself back up, and then exhale. Knees wide, big toes to touch, down into a child's pose. Head to the mat if you can, and I suggest prayer hands again. Thumbs to the back of the neck. The more we work the shoulders into any little posture, the better we will end up in our wheel pose. Inhale, hands to the mats, and back up into table posture. Tuck the toes if they're not already, and then press yourself back into downward facing dog. In our first downward facing dog, you can pedal out the feet. Find length in the back of the leg. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the right leg for three-legged dog, and then exhale for tiger pose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, tiger. Three-legged dog once more, and then exhale. Step the foot between the hands. Back foot follows. Inhaling for a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise. Circle the arms up, touch the palms overhead, and bring the hands down to heart center. Load up in the knees. Drive the arms up. Try to get a back bend here, and then exhale. Swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Planting the hands, stepping back into high plank. And pressing back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg this time. Three-legged dog. Exhale. Tiger pose. Knee to chest, floating the toes off the ground. Pressing through the earth, trying to wrap the shoulder blades around the rib cage. And then inhale. Three-legged dog. Exhale. Tiger pose. Inhale, three-legged dog. And then exhale, step that foot between the hands. Back foot follows for a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise. Circle the arms up. Touch the palms overhead and bring the hands down to heart center. Load up into the legs. Try to get a little bit bigger back bend this time. The more we warm up the back, the better for our wheel pose. And then exhale. Swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. And plant the hands. Step back with the right leg. Set yourself up for a high lunge. And then inhale. High lunge, high crescent lunge with a back bend here. And then exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back into high plank, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga vinyasa, flip the toes, upward facing dog, and then flip the toes again. Press yourself back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg, three-legged dog, and then exhale. Step that forward between the hands. Set yourself up for that high lunge again. High crescent lunge again. Back bend, heart open.
And then exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step forward with an inhale into halfway lift. And exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise. Circle the arms up, touch the palms overhead, and then exhale, bring the hands down to heart center. Load up into the legs again. Drive the arms up, back bend. And then exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Left leg this time, step back, set yourself up for that high lunge, and then when you're ready, rise up, high crescent lunge. And exhale, down, hands to mat. Step back with the right leg, shift forward, lower down, chaturanga vinyasa. Flow through, meet me in downward facing dog. If you need a slight rest, from here you can go to child's pose. But if you're ready to keep up, follow along. Inhale, lift the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, step that forward. Set yourself up for that high crescent lunge. And then exhale, down, hands to mat. Inhale, step forward, halfway lift. And exhale, down. And then inhale, rise. Circle the arms up, touch the palms overhead, and bring the hands down to heart center. I'll bring the prayer hands to the back of the neck again. Try to keep the elbows close. Try to point the elbows straight up to the sky. A back bend, and then keeping the hands behind the back. Dive forward, forward fold, release. Plant the hands. Step back with the right leg, and then bring the left hand on the inside of the left foot and set yourself up for this lizard lunge. Try to keep the back leg straight as you drive the hips towards the ground. Really feeling length through this right hip flexor, length through the left adductor, which is the muscle on the inside of the leg. Breathing here. If you need to, you can rest a knee on the ground and just feel length through here. We'll be here for just a couple more breaths. If your knee is on the ground, straighten the knee, hover it off the ground, and then inhale, press yourself up into three-legged dog, and then exhale, lower down all the way to the belly. Have the hands back by the side body, palms facing down. Pressing the shoelace side of the foot on the ground. We'll inhale for locust pose. You're going to lift your chest and chin, sort of like you would for low cobra, but our hands aren't next to us. So with an inhale, using the back musculature here, and exhale down. One more time, a back bend, heart opener, locust pose. Inhale. Lift the chest, lift the chin. And exhale down. Return the hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up into high plank. Shift back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg, and then exhale. Step that through between the hands. Bring the right hand on the inside of the right foot this time. Lizard lunge, opposite side. Trying to keep this back leg straight as we drive the hips towards the ground. Trying to find length through here, length through here. If you need to, you can lower this knee to the ground and just breathe into this posture. Trying to find yourself lengthening more and more. But if you like the active variation, just keep the knee off the ground. and breathe into this posture. And when you're ready, if your knee is not up off the ground already, join me here in the lizard lunge. And then with an inhale, press yourself back into three-legged dog. And then exhale, lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Once you're all the way there, release the hands down by the side body, palms on the ground. Shoelace side of the foot on the ground, legs together. And while pressing down through the feet, we'll inhale for our back bend, for our heart opener. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the chin. And exhale. Down. Inhale once more, lift the chest, lift the chin. For our locust pose. And exhale down. One last time, for good measure, inhale, lift the chest and chin. And down. Return the hands underneath the shoulders. A regular low cobra here. Keep the feet, legs where they are. Inhale. Low cobra. Exhale down. Inhale for high cobra. And exhale down. Try moving the thumbs down by the lowest rib. And maybe the hands just to the edge of the mat or maybe a little bit off the mat. And we'll inhale once more for high cobra. And exhale down. Make any adjustments with the hands that you see fit. We're trying to really open our chest, open our heart, really get a nice back bend and preparation for our wheel pose. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the chin, lift the chest, press down with the hands into high cobra, staying out of the neck with the shoulders. And exhale down. One last time, make any final adjustments. And then we'll inhale, high cobra, and exhale down. Return the hands underneath the shoulders. Bring them out so they stack so the elbow is stacked over the hands. Come up onto your spider fingers here. And then lift the chest and chin like you would, sort of in between high and low cobra. And then moving the right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Like this kind of twist variation. Inhale to center and then exhale. Left shoulder forward. Chin back towards the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And exhale down. Make any adjustments you need to with the hands. Find a comfortable spot. And then inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. And then exhale. Bend. Inhale, lift. And then lower. And when you're ready, inhale, press yourself up into high plank, back into downward facing dog. A slight reverse posture here to get ourselves a little more comfortable. Pedal out the feet if you need to. Return the knees for table posture. Bring the knees wide. Bring the big toes to touch and then sink back into a child's pose. We won't be here too long. You can bring the thumbs to the back of the neck again. Bring the elbows in towards each other, trying to open up those shoulders a little bit more. Now that we've built up this heat, we're pretty much prepared, but we don't want to lose too much heat, so we won't stay here for too long. After your next inhale, return the hands to the ground. Press yourself up into table posture. Swing the legs around and then come down on to your bottom. Come forward to about the upper third of your mat. Hands extended, and then slowly lower yourself down onto your back. Bring the heels pretty close to the glutes here, maybe so close you can touch your heels with the fingertips. We're going to bend at the elbows, and we're going to place our fingers pointed towards our shoulders, right by the ears, and then we're going to inhale, lift our hips, and then exhale down. Another time, inhale, lift the hips for bridge pose as high as you can, really squeezing those glutes, trying to keep the knees together, don't let them come open like that, and then exhale down. Again, lift the hips and exhale down. Try to get the elbows as close to above your head as possible. As you inhale, lift the hips for bridge. And exhale down. Release the hands from next to the ears. Bring the arms overhead. You may find it's a little bit easier to do this now that we're really warmed up in the shoulders. Shake it out. And I think we're pretty well prepared for our wheel pose. So if you're with me and you want to give this a try, we'll do that. But if you're not and you'd like to sort of do wheel pose but be a little bit regressed, if you have blocks or some sort of hard prop, you can put them against a wall. Put your hands on the blocks and then press yourself up into wheel pose on top of the blocks. That'll give you a little bit more height off the ground. You might be able to get it a little bit easier. But if you still can't do that, you can be here with me, hands next to the head. Bring the elbows up as much as you can, and then just bring your hips up for bridge pose, and then try to press yourself up, rolling back. If you'd like to do that and place a prop underneath you, just to sort of get the feeling of wheel pose. But if you're following along, we'll give this a couple attempts here. No promises if I'll be able to get it. We'll see. I haven't done wheel pose myself in a little while, so the body might have to get used to it. Prepare yourself. Bring the heels close to the glutes. Hands close to the head. Fingers towards the body, towards the shoulders. Elbows in. And then with an inhale, we'll lift the hips. And then press yourself up. And then exhale, slowly lower down. Heart open, back is bent. Our elbows are really up. If you feel any pain at all in that, in the back, in the wrists, in the neck, please don't attempt it again, but we'll give it just 2 more tries. Just see if you can get the wheel pose. If you did it on the first try, that's great. If you'd like to just sit the next 2 rounds out, that's fine. But if you're following along and you need to reset yourself, heels close to the glutes, bring the hands above the head, hands next to the head, elbows in, and then we'll inhale, press our hips up for bridge, and then press yourself up into wheel pose. And exhale. Down, release, relax. Roll out the hands if the wrists are hurting. You can windshield wiper with the legs if there's any funny feeling in the back. And then when you're ready, and if you're following along, we'll give this just one last try. Heels close to the glutes so the fingertips can touch. Remember to keep those knees in. Remember to keep the elbows in. One last time here. Hands close to the head. Inhale, press the hips up for bridge. And then press yourself. Exhale down. Release, relax. 3 wheel poses. Felt pretty great. And then slowly come onto your side. Press yourself up, coming onto your bottom. Bring the legs wide. Scoot the hips back onto the hip bones. If you need a prop for your forward fold, grab a prop. Inhale, hands and arms up, and then exhale, forward, bending over the prop. I'm going to raise mine up just a little bit. A counter posture from bending our back. Now we're bending forward. If you manage to get all 3 of our wheel poses, that's amazing. Very proud of you. That's not an easy posture to do. If you didn't, that is okay too. If you found a regression that worked for you, also great. Again, it's not an easy pose. If it's something you want to work towards, that's really great. The warm-ups we've done so far through this flow really help get mobility in the arms and the shoulders. They really help open up the heart, bending the back, finding strength in the shoulders. If you're really folded, walk the hands towards the body. I'm not that folded. Walk yourself up tall. Bring the legs together. And then swing the legs around. Come into a table posture. Inhale. Lift the left arm. And then exhale. Dive that hand through. Thread the needle. Bring this shoulder to the ground or to something. Whether that's a prop, blanket, bolster, block. And we'll be here in this thread the needle from table variation. If you'd like to take a bind behind the back, you can. Or if you just like to leave the hand on the mat, that's okay too. It's a good stretch on the shoulder. We don't want our shoulders being too tight, especially after really, really using them like we did. After your next exhale, inhale, bring the arm up, try to follow the fingers for this counter twist, and then bring the hands down to the mat. Inhale, opposite arm up, and then exhale, thread that needle through, bring the shoulder to the ground or to something. Again, you can have an option of taking a bind behind the back or leaving the hand where it is. You can kick the left leg back. Sorry, I didn't say that on the other side, but you can kick the side you're facing, kick that leg back if you like. Or you could just stay here in this sort of neutral expression, if you will. Or finding length again through the shoulder. Cooling it down. Just a couple more breaths here. After your next exhale, inhale, press yourself up, take that counter twist, following the fingers up, and then exhale, hand to mat, and we'll swing the legs around. One last time, come onto our bottom, and then slowly grabbing the knees and rolling onto our back. Once we're here on the back, come into happy baby pose, elbows on the inside of the knee, holding on to the ankle, the bottom of the foot, or take your peace fingers here, wrap it around the big toe, and give just a gentle tug on the toes, trying to bring the knees closer to the armpits, really stretching out the groin area. You can rock side to side in your happy baby, extend one leg, rebend, extend the other, or just hang out here, really finding openness. Maybe remembering a time where you were a little happy baby on the ground, looking up at the sky, looking up at the ceiling. Bring the elbows to the outside of the knee, release the foot, ankle, or toe. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. And then release, bring the knees together. Bring them up in this sort of 90 degree angle. Bring the arms out. If you need to shift your hips over, do so, but we're going to drop the knees over to the left in the supine twist. If your knees don't quite touch and you like to put a prop in between your legs, you can. Or if you like to just rest the left hand over the top of your knee, not really cranking on it, not forcing anything, but just a little bit of weight from your arm. If you'd like, you can turn the chin over towards the right shoulder or the opposite side. Your knees are bent. Or if you like a side body stretch, you can leave the chin neutral and extend the left arm overhead, feeling length here in the side body. If that's not comfortable, you can just simply leave your arm out to a T. You can choose to take any modifications, or you can just choose to hang out in the neutral expression. Whatever you like, this is your session. Just make it unique to you. After your next exhale, release your modifications, turn the arms back out to a T, and then float the knees back up to center. If you need to shift your hips over to the other side, we're going to drop our knees now to the opposite side. Same things apply. You can rest the hand, you can turn the chin, you can leave the chin neutral and raise the arm overhead. You can put a prop in between the legs if you like. Find what works. Come to stillness. And just breathe intentionally. After your next exhale, release any modifications you may have taken. Return the arms out to a T and then float the legs back up to center. If you need to shift yourself over, do so, but give yourself one last big hug. Bringing the knees to the chest, wrapping the arms around the shins, rocking side to side, rocking back and forth. If you like, you can sort of release the knees and grab the knees like joysticks and rock them side to side. Maybe draw figure eights, massaging the low back. Wherever you are, release the legs. Bring the feet back down to the mat and extend the legs out. And set yourself up for your comfortable Shavasana. If you like a blanket under the head, under the knees, you can do so. Whatever modification you like to take, whatever props you'd like to use. Find what you like, make it unique, and then come to stillness on the mat. Working our way up the body. We'll draw attention to the toes, just relaxing all 10 of them. Let the heel rest heavy on the earth. Let the lower leg rest heavy. Maybe feeling some air passing underneath the knees. Let the hips rest heavy on the earth. Feel the breath as you inhale, the belly rises. As you exhale, the belly falls. Let the shoulders rest heavy on the earth. The upper arm, the lower arm, the back of the hand. Feel the air passing through the fingers. Let the head rest heavy on the earth. Let your eyes sink back into their orbits. Let your tongue fall into the lower palate. And imagine your brain sliding into the back of your skull. Nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Just be at ease.
Start to bring some awareness back to the body. Bring some attention back to the toes, to the fingers. Invite some small movements to happen with the toes and fingers, the ankles, the wrists, the legs, the arms. Bring small movements back. Reawaken your body. Eventually point the toes, bring the arms overhead for a full body stretch. And then back down into your Shavasana. Bend one knee. Place the sole of the foot on the ground. Press off that foot and come onto your side. In this fetal posture, this recovery posture, let the head rest on one arm. Just preparing ourselves. We don't want to sit up too quickly. We don't want to get dizzy. And eventually, and whenever you're ready, press yourself up to an easy cross-legged seated position. Cross at the ankles, tall spine, open heart, level chin, palms resting on the knees. I really hope you enjoyed today's yoga flow with our peak posture of wheel pose. If you got wheel pose, that's great. I'm proud of you. If you regressed in any way, that's okay too. You still followed along. You still did your best. Wheel pose will come if you really want it and you really work at it. That's all for now. Let's take one last breath together as we inhale, circle the arms up, touch the palms overhead, and then exhale. Bring the hands down to heart center. Feeling very mobile in my shoulders now from all that. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.